Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the What the Fuck America podcast. I am Jake, along with Matt,
Yo.
and we're going to just bullshit a little bit today. Some of us were in the process of dying for the past 2 months, so we kind of had a little hiatus there. For those of you that don't know, I ended up getting COVID, and then COVID turned to pneumonia, and then pneumonia almost killed me. But we're back. We're here.
That's
Not
right.
going anywhere.
No.
Unless the government, of course, comes
COVID and
kidnaps
pneumonia
me.
couldn't fucking kill you.
Nope.
I'd say you're good.
All right. So there has been a lot of shit happening since we last had an episode.
Tons.
World War III started.
Dude.
COVID disappeared.
You've been gone for so long that every single day that you were gone, something was happening and we were not talking about it. And I was sitting there like, here's our $1 million podcast right out the fucking window.
Yep. I fucked it all.
It's okay.
That's right. We'll catch up. We'll catch up to that $1 million podcast one day.
Of course. We're here. We're there. This is the episode.
Yep. This is it. So let's one of the things. So I watched a video today. It was talking about the Dark Enlightenment and blah 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 blah. But a question that I want to ask you is, because this video made me, the only question I had after I watched this video is there room for humanity left on this earth? Was the only question that I came up with after I watched this video. And what I mean by that is that we're sort of trending towards Superman, his home planet, Krypton, where babies were made, genetically made for a specific job and purpose. And you had, obviously genetical engineering, in AI that would basically tell people what their job was, what their X, Y, and Z was. And I feel like we're heading towards that world.
What, planet Krypton?
Basically.
Whoa.
Basically. That's where I think things are heading. Because genetical engineering, as you told me, they're birthing the first mammal without what was it? Without what?
Without fertilization.
Yeah. So
which is basically the man side.
Yeah.
It's a fucking egg they're going to grow without sperm.
Yeah, so we're basically men are no longer useful on the planet.
Well, that was decided a long time ago when they started
true.
letting fucking HR Puffin stuff run fucking shit.
Well, and when we decided women could vote. I mean, whoever decided that. But anyways.
It wasn't a woman, I'll tell you that.
A lot of women actually did not want the right to vote because it came with, all these other things that went along with men's right to vote. But anyway, so it was a really interesting question that I had because obviously genetic engineering, once we start tampering with that, we will, in my opinion, cease to be human. We will be genetically engineered humans, which I think is different than humans. It's really interesting. But I don't want to get too off on a tangent on that because that's kind of my weird little things I think about from time to time.
Transhumanism and fucking robots fucking humans and humans birthing robots and all that Matrix bullshit.
Basically, yeah. I have a feeling we're trending that way.
So what if I was to tell you that there are people out there that wholeheartedly believe that right now is the actual another of the great floods or revelation type of events, right? Where because of these vaccines
Oh
and
yeah, the mark of the
uh,
beast and all that.
the food
Yep.
tampering and the pedophilia and all of these things, that we are headed straight into what Rome, Greece,
Yep.
at, all the way back to,
All the downfalls
yeah,
of many
right,
ancient civilizations.
exactly.
Yep. And that's where I'm thinking
Yeah,
is there room left, because technology has advanced so rapidly, and I think what we know as humans today, I think is definitely something that I don't think is going to be around in maybe a couple decades, by maybe 50 years. 50 years, I think I could
um,
honestly see a scenario where we have two classes of people, where the rich and wealthy, their kids are able to be genetically modified, whereas us poor people are not able to have our kids genetically modified. So they will just be regular humans. And then you will have a legitimate type of two tiered system in the world, more so than we see today.
welcome to San Angeles, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyway, let's talk about current events. And let's not talk about the random.
I'm just saying though, in this story though that you're lining out, there is no John Spartan. We'll just put it that way.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Um, so let's talk about this whole Ukraine Russia scenario.
debacle.
Yeah, is it World War III? Do you think World War III is going to happen?
I do not.
No, you don't think we're
No.
already in World War III?
I gotta be totally honest. My opinion on World War III is, when did World War II stop?
I think in the 1940 something, 45, 46, 47, somewhere around
Right.
there.
So I I would be. Uh, I am of the opinion that that war never actually stopped, and that we have been fighting, or we have been involved in, and I don't even think I don't. I think on the face of it, it looks like war, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like war, right? We don't really know war as like they did in the 40s and the 30s, and like, that kind of shit, the 1917s and all that crap,
Yeah, well,
like,
we the last time Congress actually, I think it was the last time Congress actually sent people to war was
yeah,
World War II. I'm pretty sure.
right, like
Everything else has just been declared.
conflict, yeah, like declared conflicts and shit
Yep.
like that. So I don't know what a world war will feel like, but I don't think this is it. And also, I think because I think we're in an information war that's been going on for, I mean, forever at this was,
Absolutely.
since we've been alive. But with the advance in technology, especially in the last, say, 50 years, like with the uh, rolling out of the television, I'd be willing to say, even that far back, the television, telephone, um, information has been the hot commodity. That is the one thing that that is the currency of the world, you know, is
I would
information.
say, and who holds power over that information too?
Yeah, the
I
people
mean,
who are in
that's
charge, right?
one of the other stories we'll get into is the Hunter Biden laptop. But
Yeah.
you have
But
half the
like,
country that believes that that story is true, then
yeah,
you have the other half of the country that thinks it's a load of bullshit and Russian disinformation.
right.
And
And
it's
I think that something now, like, we don't really know what the facts are, right? Because
no,
if you look at it from an outside perspective, right, and which we should, because we're in America, not in Russia or Ukraine.
correct.
However, everybody thinks that economies and all this shit are, this is what everybody's focusing on. Gas is higher priced because of Russia.
Yep. Well, that's because that's what the media is telling them.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what my point is, though, right? It's because of Russia. And
Hmm.
you know, um, the first thing that happened when this all started, I saw it and I go, oh, I wonder if this is because of the fucking Nazis that are killing Russians in Ukraine.
Yes.
Because I saw an article about that on Google. I mean, it was on Google, right?
Yep.
I saw an article about
Well,
that.
and we should talk about the Ukrainian Nazis, I guess, briefly.
Well, yeah, that was all. You remember when that was started? I mean,
Yep.
fucking Obama, man.
Yep. So
This
for those
this
that don't
ties
know,
in. The past 22 years are all one big fucking fucked up story.
yep. So
So
for those that don't know, in 2014, I'm pretty sure Ukraine had an election,
yes,
and that election went over to the actually elected leader. I can't remember his name. It's not important. But then a coup happened,
mm-hmm.
and we essentially, the United States, essentially installed Zelensky, who is the current Ukrainian president.
No. Oh wait, didn't they insert
Vladimir
someone else?
Zelensky.
Was it him that they installed?
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay.
I
Go ahead.
I guess check it up quick because I might
I'm
be wrong.
checking it. I'm checking it.
Um,
I thought it was the
but
guy before him.
yeah, I can't remember who was actually elected. And then this is not the podcast of the Lotus Eaters does a very good breakdown of this.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
going off of. Yeah. Anyway,
and they go into it all. They go into the phone call from this one chick that was a U.S. person to another Ukrainian ambassador. I want to say his name was, and how essentially the United States spent, I think, like $50 million from the early 2000s all the way to 2014, in quote unquote democracy fortifying funds, basically paying off politicians and elected officials. Um, and then in 2014 they had their election and one guy won, but then the coup happened, and I'm pretty sure it was Zelensky that ended up taking over. I could be wrong on that. It might have been somebody else, but
no, you're good. That was him.
okay, that's neither here nor.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out the U.S. basically installed and this is to me, this is a big key. The U.S. essentially installed a pro-NATO puppet. One of Putin's. And one thing I said to Matt while we were at work, right now, all we're getting, it's essentially my opinion on this. All the media is doing is they are manufacturing consent to go to war with Russia. That is all the media is doing. And I don't remember this personally because I was young when this happened, but when they said that one of the this is going to sound terrible the way I say it, but one of the Muslim terrorist groups over in the fucking Middle East was apparently ripping babies out of incubators and killing them. That was used as propaganda to manufacture consent of the American people, because that's a horrifying story. Ripping babies out of incubators to us in the West is a horrifying story.
Yeah.
But it never happened. That was not something that actually happened. If you think about it logistically, why wouldn't they just bomb the hospital? Then you wipe out everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is a story that was a manufactured consent propaganda to make it more palatable for United States military members to go and die overseas, because we have to stop that evil person who is pulling babies out of incubators. But that never happened. So right now, what we're getting, I believe several sites have blocked RT Russia Today because they see it as Russian propaganda. And all we're getting is one side. All we're getting is Putin is a Nazi. Putin's the worst person on earth. Vladimir Zelensky, who is the Ukrainian president, can do no wrong. He is the God King Emperor. They even put stories of him. There were pictures from like 2017, and they used them as saying he's on the front lines right now fighting against the Russian invasion. And they were using pictures from 2017. Like, all this is, it is, to be frank, pure Ukrainian propaganda. That's all this is. That's all we're seeing right now. So one thing I said to Matt, what if Putin's right? That is a distinct possibility. There are several ways this could go. Putin is either right, Putin is either wrong, or Putin is either half right or half wrong. Those are really the only outcomes.
Yeah.
So to me, all we're getting is pro-Ukrainian propaganda to manufacture consent to start World War III. That's all we're seeing here in the West, unless you're watching actual news sources.
Well, that's exactly what it is. That's what propaganda is for, right?
Yep.
It's to
manufacture consent.
Exactly.
Think about it with Pepsi.
Oh yeah.
If Pepsi puts out a commercial, all they're doing is informing you and giving you information about why their product is better. And all that does is that gets you to consent to buying their product. That's all it is.
Well, the issue with them, what's so funny too here is Zelensky is basically Donald Trump.
Yeah,
he is a fucking television star who was in, basically, in my opinion, I don't care if Trump fucking got in on his own merit or not. He is a fucking television star who was president. I mean, he's president.
Yep.
And talked all this shit. And the one side, right, they attacked him. They said, fuck this guy, blah, 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 blah. Well, just like Justin Trudeau in fucking Canada.
Yep.
This fucking asshole is also a fucking, they're puppets, man. Come on, dude. And if you can't see it, you're fucking dumb.
Yep.
Like, you're fucking dumb.
The right.
And if
go ahead.
And I'm saying this, and you know this about me from our talks. I could give two fucks who the president is. I could care shit. Like, I don't care. Yep. I do not care who the president is. The only thing I care about is how much money I gotta fucking pay the government. That is the only thing I care about. Like, the president has no control over my fucking taxes. They really don't.
Yeah, it's very little.
Right.
Unless,
it's
of course,
other assholes.
Unless, of course, they go and sign that bill into law, being fucking, now we're going to tax you like 4 cents for every mile you drive. Did you hear about that?
No.
They want to do a mileage tax, basically for every, because we can't have any emissions of carbon at all, because it's going to kill everyone in 2 days. We're all going to die.
Kill all the fucking trees in the world if there's no carbon emissions?
Well, what's interesting, what blows my mind is, you know what trees are mostly made out of? It's not wood. It's carbon.
Everything is.
Yes. So that's what blows my mind. I don't understand the whole global warming. Makes no sense to me. In my personal opinion, it's become so political. I just don't believe it anymore.
Right. And that's what the problem is. There are a lot of people, and that's the sad, fucked up thing. There are so many people out there like you and I who don't believe it, or believe that we are at a point where the earth, if we are to believe evolution and adaptation and this and that, the earth knows what's fucking happening to it, just like an old geezer knows that them fucking million cigarette he's about to smoke is not going to kill him today, but it might in fact factor into tomorrow.
No. And that's one thing that I just don't understand too, is all this renewable energy bullshit. Solar panels, fantastic. I want to get solar panels myself.
Me too.
Wind energy. If you can do a big wind farm, fine. But then what happens when you have to recycle all that stuff from the wind farm and you can't recycle it, which they don't talk about.
Exactly.
Electric batteries or electric cars. Awesome. The only issue is lithium mines are fucking awful for the world.
It's worse than drilling oil in the ocean.
Yes. It is far worse.
It's so bad,
Not
dude.
to mention what powers the electric car. Electricity. How is
Mhm.
electricity made? Mostly fucking coal or natural gas or whatever fucking non green energy bullshit. So the only, in my stupid layman opinion, and I actually have a question for you also. My stupid layman opinion, the only way, if climate change is real, if it truly exists, and all these predictions that they've made end up being right, even though just about every prediction they've made has been wrong. If you look at Al Gore's stupid ass fucking, oh, the polar ice caps are going to melt by 2014.
Well, some of it, I don't
Okay, like
know.
two of them came true
Yeah, okay.
out of the 50 that he made. Anyways,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only way, if today they started making predictions and all of them were to come true, there are two ways you could solve the climate crisis. Number one, nuclear energy. Number two, killing 90% of the human population.
Excuse me, what the hell do you think
The
all of
vaccines were.
all of if you are going to, like, there is so much literature out there right now. They knew that this vaccine, I mean, dude, they fucking knew. There is no way they didn't know.
Well, did you see that they just took away about 25% of the deaths from kids that are like 12 and under? They just erased 25% of the deaths.
Yeah. And what about there's article. I don't have it here in my things, but
But isn't that insane?
it's
25
insane.
25% of, we need to get all these children age 12 and under vaccinated
Right.
because coronavirus kills them. 25% of those deaths that they claimed were COVID, they just
Right.
erased them
But
in the middle of the night.
when they were doing all those trials, you know how we kept seeing all these trials, right? These
Yep.
the medical trials for the vaccine, and they tested all these kids and stuff.
Oh,
And this
yep.
doctor says straight up, he says, well, if they weren't getting the results, they would just take those kids out of the
Out of the test.
number.
Yeah, out of the
Right.
trial.
They take them out of the fucking trial, so then it doesn't even matter because that's not
Yep.
such ass backward shit, dude. And it you know what sucks? They used their version of the law and their fear tactics, and you'll go to jail and you'll be ousted and you'll do this and that, and getting our fucking like Hollywood stars to say fuck your freedom and all that shit
Yep.
for a fucking giant science experiment. And you know what's fucking stupid? We spent all this time, me and you spent all that time talking about Fauci and all the fucked up shit he did during the AIDS thing. Does everybody forgot that? Me and you weren't even fucking really alive then.
No.
And we
Nope.
just put all that out, right? You put all that out, but no one's talking about that. Your fucking Tim Pools and your fucking fuckers, all your fucking idiots out there, and fucking, you know why? Because they're all towing the line for the dollar bill. And that's okay. But what happens when that dollar bill means nothing?
Yep.
You start trading in fucking yen, the
Yeah.
peso is going to be a higher amount. We're going to be trading our fucking money in Mexico
To the place we should fucking annex.
Oh my God, we should take that fucker. That's some bullshit, man.
Yep.
And you know, the Alphabet Gang, they're all out there. They don't give a shit. What the hell do they care for? They're still getting paid.
Yep. The Alphabet
They're-
Gang is getting fucking insane.
Well, what do you listen? That's what happens when you take all the fucking testosterone and the fucking tradition and ideology out of something. It's one thing to advance and progress, but losing, take the military, for instance, okay? I don't understand what the big deal of having a gay guy or a gay chick in the military is. I never understood that. Why is don't ask, don't tell? Why blah, blah, blah. Just live your fucking life. If
Yep.
you're doing your job and you're at war, I'm sure the last thing you're fucking thinking about is if
Is
the
that
guy
guy
next
in
to
the
you
fucking foxhole
is
gonna
that guy
suck your
gonna
dick?
right. Is he going to try to fuck me in the ass when I get shot in the fucking head? I don't think that's the thing on your mind,
No.
right? That's your bro. It doesn't fucking matter, right? It's
Yep.
same thing with the chicks. So number one, to me, once that even was put into the fucking universe by any little person, they use that shit, right?
Yep.
Because then it was, well, don't ask, don't tell. So now the military can't ask you if you're gay or not, right? Which, why they would even fucking bother, I don't know. Maybe it's because back in the day, the gay guys were kind of fruity and it was kind of obscene and weird to remember. We come from Puritans, for Christ's sake. Like, this is America, right? The fucking Pilgrims were not like just regular old fucking run-of-the-mill Catholic Christians. No, they fucking killed each other for, like, I don't know, drinking booze on the fucking weekend. They were nuts. Okay. The fucking priest was the one who ran the town, not the fucking people. Okay. So that's where we come from. I mean, I don't know. This is fucking insane. Not to mention now, not only during COVID and all these other places bullshit, when Joe Biden came in, we gave money to fucking Sri Lanka. We gave speedboats to. We gave Pakistan money to study dicks and vaginas. Then we gave a bunch of who else did we give? We gave money. Oh yeah, remember when we left all of that military equipment in fucking Afghanistan? Oh wait, remember when we got a whole bunch of people killed in Afghanistan, and when Donald Trump was president, nobody fucking died for like 18 months? Oh wait a minute.
That's what's crazy. More people died in an 18-month period in Chicago. More Americans died in Chicago than they did in Afghanistan in an 18-month period.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah. But he
Donald
was a Nazi.
Trump,
but he was a Nazi.
Yep.
He fuck him. He's a racist. He incited people on fucking January 6th, even though everybody already has the proof that he didn't actually do that, and they're just being fucking assholes.
Yep.
Come on.
What blows my mind is there are three things I think that this whole war with Russia and Ukraine, I think, has been boiling from the start.
I think it's a smoke show. I think it's a smoke show.
Let me run down what my whole, from like whenever they annexed Crimea.
Yep.
And Obama and Biden did nothing.
Yep.
So I remember Obama saying, the U.S. is now in a managed decline. I remember him saying those words. And that was when he was president, 2012, 2013, 2011, maybe. And that was the end of his second term. He was no longer going to be president and could not run again. And then, because politics in this country is so incestuous and fucking entrenched in families, there was another person who was running on the Democratic ticket named Hillary Clinton. Some of you may or may not know her. What she wanted to do was put a no-fly zone over Libya. I think it was Libya. I'm almost positive. What a no-fly zone would do, and what a no-fly zone...
Whichever country the Syrians were messing with, I think.
Yeah, I think I want to say Libya.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But a no-fly zone, what that is, for people that don't know, means almost exactly what it says. No flying. You are not allowed to fly in this space. The only way to ensure you're not allowed to fly is you shoot down anything that comes into that airspace. So what we would have had, if Hillary Clinton been elected, she would have implemented a no-fly zone. She said this expressly on the campaign trail. She said, and what's funny too, Google this for me because I want to. Who did Hillary Clinton sell 2/5 of the uranium to? I think it was 2/5 of the uranium, I want to say. Um, so Hillary Clinton would have put a no fly zone over Libya, which would have caused, because Russia and Syria and our allies, Russian planes to get shot down by U.S. NATO members. So that would have caused a war with Russia. And then did you find out who they sold it to? And who sold it?
Hillary Clinton approved the 2010 sale of a mining company to Russia. This gave the Russians control of 20% of the U.S. uranium and placed the U.S. national security at risk. In return, the Clinton Foundation received $145 million in pledges and donations. That was an allegation from Donald Trump on the 2016 campaign, and then he tweeted it.
Yeah. So that one might be true eventually as well. But they said it's just Russian disinformation. But so, yeah, that would have caused a war with Russia between NATO, US, and Russia had Hillary Clinton been elected. But then a massive orange wrench, got thrown into the works. And I'm pretty sure that kind of halted things for a while. And it's interesting how people said that Donald Trump was a Putin plant and a Putin puppet. If Trump was a Putin puppet, I'm pretty sure Putin would have invaded Ukraine during Trump's presidency and not.
And I would be willing to bet that we would have pulled out of NATO.
Probably. So, but yeah, that's just another interesting. I think this has been a plan from the start. And then there's while I was dying from COVID, I did a lot of listening to things. And there's a guy, Alexander Dugin, who, according to the Western media, is essentially Putin's Rasputin. And I did a lot of listening to the things he was saying. And I have to agree with him. So you can get a lot of what Putin is doing and why Putin is doing it if you listen to Alexander Dugin, as well as Putin did, I think, a 2017 speech where he talked a lot about things, which I haven't been able to listen to, and it's in Russian anyway, so I would have to find a translated version, which I don't know if I'll be able to. Because, of course, you can't have anything Russian on your screens anymore, otherwise the fucking United States FSB will fucking kick in your door. But Alexander Dugin talked a lot about how, and the big thing is, I just want their perspective. I don't want, I typically, I'm not very easily swayed by things. So I want people's perspective. I like to listen to every perspective I can to make my own informed opinion. That's why I listen to a Christian conservative. That's why I listen to a English liberal. That's why I listen to a fence sitting fucking asshole named Tim Pool.
God, he's such a little bitch.
That's why I listen to a conservative that was a former Democrat who was finally swayed by all the people yelling their abortions proudly. He decided to no longer be a Democrat because of that. I listen to a lot of spectrums because I want as much information from different sources as possible to have an informed opinion. Now, obviously, you can't sit there and listen to everything 24/7 because there's not enough time in the day to listen to everything. So I went and listened to a lot of what Alexander Dugin was saying, and what he basically takes issue with in the current century is liberalism. He does not like that the U.S. is trying, basically the U.S., but what Western is the way he describes it. Western countries are trying to force down their way of living onto others. And the way he described it is not like, fuck the gays. He just said, Russians are Russian. Let them be Russian and let them evolve in a Russian way, whether that be for good or bad. Or same with people in Indonesia. They're Indonesian. Let them be Indonesian, whether that be for good or for bad. It is not your I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It is not your prerogative to force people to be the way you are in the West. And that's a lot of what the US does and a lot of what UK does and all that. It's basically a soft form of imperialism. Instead of, marching over there with boots and kicking people's doors down and saying, this land belongs to America now. What we do is we tell them, if you don't like the gays and you don't support the gays, we're going to fucking not give you $70 million, is essentially the way I kind of thought of what he was saying.
Sounds right. Well, do you know what managed decline means?
No. Go ahead and enlighten me.
Managed decline is a phrase that refers to the management of the decline phase in a life cycle, man. So, like the end.
And yeah, I honestly think
the thing you have, okay, before you continue, people need to realize that there is, and I know this sounds crazy because we don't really get into the religious side or like the spiritual side of things, but, and I don't care if people don't believe me or not, but there is every fucking thing they do, from the ceremony when they go in Congress, all of them, every single day, the ceremonies, the boxes, the things that they use, the tools, the this and the that, the words that are scripted for them, because everybody knows, everybody reads off a teleprompter and all that bullshit. These are scripted things. They say these words specifically. This isn't just random fucking articulation. This is thought out.
Funny that
for
you bring
a reason.
Yep.
It's thought out. It is put that way because, so with indoctrination and propaganda and stuff like that, when you use words like that, it's almost kind of hitting like
sending a message.
Right. And not everybody's picking that message up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And when right off the face of it, managed decline just kind of means like, oh, well, they're managing it while it's kind of falling.
Yeah, they're trying to make the decline a little bit less brutal, right, so that way we can come back. And that, to me, that's what managed decline means. You're trying to manage the downfall of things happening right now, so that way you can have a better upswing.
Right.
But that's not the way they meant it here.
But that is not, because what I'm reading is specifically talking about that speech that Obama made. Like, because
when was it? Was it 2013?
It says, I think it was 2013. Oh no, it was earlier than that because the article is from 2011.
Okay.
So it was in that
during his second term.
Right.
When he can't get kicked out, when he can do whatever the fuck he wants because he no longer can run for president anyways.
Right, exactly.
What are they going to do? Not elect him the third time?
Right.
Like, fuck.
But also, man, those alphabet dudes, man, because Obama's one of them, Anderson Cooper. Listen to how these guys talk. You know what I mean? Anytime they're talking, Fauci, Biden, even Joe Biden, like, yeah, he's out of his fucking mind.
He just said we have to lead and manage the new world order.
Not to mention, like, when you were gone, How many fucking speeches did you listen to? Do you remember he just did that one where he didn't even say the right goddamn country.
Yep. Yep. That was a State of the Union address where he said a mix of Iranian, Ukrainian, like
he's fucking nuts.
the fact to me, the most I don't give a shit that our president is a demented old fuck who's been in politics for 45 fucking years and is corrupt as all fucking get out. That's not the issue to me.
No.
The issue to me is the fact that he's been allowed to be in office for over a year.
Yeah.
Like how?
Well, how would you what else could you do?
You can impeach him.
Kamala Harris can't even answer a fucking question.
Yeah, because she's the vice president.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, man.
My issue with this, and my big thing is, you kind of can't hold Biden accountable because he thinks he's in a fucking daycare. He's getting his diapers changed. He's
he
eating
pretty much is in a
time.
fucking daycare, though.
Like,
let's face it.
He is in an old folks' home, and they parade him around. Unfortunately, you can't hold that demented fuck accountable for anything.
True.
Kamala Harris, you can hold her accountable. She's not going to care about it. She's going to blow it off as you're a fucking Russian disinformation troll.
Yeah.
But you can at least, with confidence, say, this is either malice or incompetence. With Joe Biden, he's fucking demented.
Yeah. Dementia's a son of a bitch, isn't it?
Like, the
thing I don't understand, though, is a guy like Joe Biden, though. Why? Okay. A guy like him. Now that the people who said, oh, if I knew about that laptop before the election, because remember, all that shit happened and nobody was talking about it.
It was 18 days before the election.
Yep.
And the media and social media, NPR went and wrote, like, let's talk about the Hunter Biden laptop, I guess. We should touch on that, I guess, because that's a pretty big story that we knew about fucking almost a year and a half ago. So
Russian disinformation.
Yep.
And that's him, and that wasn't a hooker.
Yep. And that wasn't him smoking Parmesan cheese. Fucking what the fuck? So the Hunter Biden laptop story, and I just want to NPR when that laptop story came out, they were getting questioned as to why they weren't writing a story about it. So you know what they did? They wrote a story about why they're not writing a story about the Hunter Biden laptop story.
I did hear that. Yeah.
And I have a buddy. I love him dearly. I love him I know he'll never listen to this. I love him to deepest depths of the earth. But he continuously tries to tell me NPR is a good news source. And I'm just like, bro, they wrote a story about why they won't write a story about the president's fucking kid's laptop. Like, I love you dearly, but dear Lord, man, like, what the fuck? Oh. And he's smart. He's like stupid smart.
Here's the thing. NPR does things like, like TED Talks and stuff like that, right? You'll have a really smart motherfucker on a topic that talks and talks and talks, and that's cool. But when it comes to their news, that is a terrible news source.
Mm-hmm.
It is a terrible news source because it is national public radio. Mm-hmm. It's like in the fucking name. Tell everybody what we want them to hear. Come on. Like, same thing with Fox, though, right? Because they're all the same.
They are all, and actually Styx Hexenhammer, who I just watched, I suppose I didn't even catch on him. I don't know what the fuck Styx Hexenhammer's views are, but he's a long-haired hippie looking dude who has Hexenhammer 666 in his fucking name. So he's obviously an interesting character. Anyways, he just pointed out that Fox recently came out with a story about how eating too much meat is bad for you. So they're following the same exact live in the pods, eat the bugs, stop consuming meat, it's bad for the planet. Fox News. This supposed right-wing fucking to me, Michael Malice says it best. Conservatism is progressivism driving the speed limit. So with the progressives, with the crazies, with the absolutely insane people that think Leah Thomas is a legitimate woman and that she won the woman's fucking 500-meter swim as a woman with a penis, those are the crazies, and they have their foot on the fucking gas, and we are trying to sit there and yell, the sane people, not the sane political people, but just the sane people, trying to yell, yo, you need to calm down, there's a fucking cliff. And then the conservatives take over, and they go 25 miles per hour, because that's what the speed limit says. And they bring us towards that cliff at 25 miles per hour instead of 100 miles per hour. That is the best way to describe it. I keep seeing people online posting, Tulsi Gabbard, run as Republican, run as Republican. I would totally vote for you if you ran as Republican.
Why?
The issue with that is she doesn't want people to have guns. She doesn't want citizens to own guns. So all you're doing is you're weakening the quote-unquote Republican Party and their traditional values.
I'll tell you
it's
one
insanity.
thing.
It's fucking insanity.
I'll tell you one thing. If Ukrainian people were allowed to own guns like Americans are, I bet you Russia wouldn't be knocking on your fucking door, you fucking pussies.
Well, and
number
that's
one.
What's so fucking funny about that.
Yeah. And number two, the fact that do we call him president? Is he a president? Zelensky? Is he a president? Like, is that what he is?
Yep.
Or is he like a king or whatever? Anyway, so he's a president. Anyway, President Zelensky, if you have to force the men of your country to fight an invading country, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And your leadership and the shit going on in your country. If the dudes don't want to stay and fight and you have to force them to, there's something wrong. Because I'll tell you right now, there would be a lot of American men that leave this country if we were invaded and they'd go to Canada. But I'll tell you what, there's a shitload of us like that one dude who put your fucking boots on.
Fuck yeah.
And you hold your shit down. That is it.
Yep.
Because this is our land.
Yep.
You know,
like I my big thing is, I don't remember where I heard this, but I couldn't agree with it more. I hate my government so fucking much because I love my country.
I feel the same way. I say the same thing, and it sounds nuts, but it's true.
The government isn't America. The people are America.
Right.
The values that this country were founded on, life, liberty, property, pursuit of happiness,
right,
freedom as one of the most important values you can have. That's what's America. Not when Joe Biden said, we the government, we are America. No, go fuck yourself. But so Occupy Democrats are fucking insane communists. In 2016, they put out a tweet that says, no civilian needs an AR-15, regardless of whatever mental gymnastics you do. You are a very special breed of stupid. That's what they tweeted back in 2016. And you want to know what they tweeted now? Back in February 24th, 2022.
Oh,
Ukraine's interior minister. What's that? Oh, sorry.
Recently.
Yeah, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago, or
yeah,
a
like a
month
couple
ago,
weeks
actually.
ago. Yeah, I thought this was gonna
Um,
be from a long time ago.
no, they just tweeted Ukraine's interior minister announces that 10,000 automatic rifles have been handed out to the civilians of Kiev as they prepare to fight tooth and nail to defend their homes against Putin's invasion. Retweet if you stand with the brave Ukrainian people. Another one on the 25th. A pizza shop owner in Kiev is giving out free pizzas to any Ukrainian who shows that they have a gun to fight the Russian invaders. Retweet if you stand with Ukraine. If you're an American who supports the Kiev pizza shop owner who is giving out free food to any Ukrainian who shows they have a gun to fight the Russians invaders, please retweet and follow our account for the latest breaking Ukrainian news. But let me read that 2016 tweet again. No civilian needs an AR-15, which is not a fully automatic weapon. It's a single shot or single trigger pull, single shot. And what they were getting, what the Interior Foreign Minister said, that 10,000 automatic rifles. So they said no civilian needs an AR-15, regardless of whatever mental gymnastics you do. You are a very special breed of stupid. These people have no principles. They have no principles, they have no morals, and they are the most hypocritical. I hate them all. I hate them. I'm to the point where I'm seeing a lot more people as enemies of America. And these Occupy Democrats people are clearly enemies of America. Because if you're okay with, and you know what's funny is one of the whole reasons for the Second Amendment is defense against a tyrannical government, whether it be foreign or domestic. So they're okay with guns being handed out to defend against a foreign invasion. One thing
Well,
they're not taking into account, those people don't have training on guns. They don't know how to use those guns. That's the whole purpose of having. How does the Second Amendment go? I don't remember it because I
well,
just know that shall not be infringed. I think it's let me pull up
well-armed
my
militia and
United States Constitution phone edition.
nice. On that same thing, though, the fact that those people's emotions are running so high, who's to say they don't just start blowing each other away?
Yeah.
If, they're
Yes.
saying like that the Russian army and stuff is using like retarded vehicles and like they're in jogging pants and shit like that. I'm like,
Yep.
what if they shoot their neighbor?
Yeah. And that's
They're not,
and this is
you
it
know,
right here. A well-regulated militia
yes.
being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What is a well-regulated militia? Is it someone that knows how to properly clean their rifle? Is it someone that knows how to load the rifle properly? Is it someone that knows how to aim properly? Is it someone that knows how to shoot properly? Is it someone that knows how to handle a gun properly? A well-regulated militia, I assume, would know how to do all those things. People that are just handed guns and told, go shoot people, probably not that well regulated. Probably don't know how to aim. Probably don't know how to shoot. Probably don't know how to clean. Probably don't know how to clear and check their weapon and make sure it's safe. Probably don't know about good trigger discipline. Do you know what trigger discipline is, Matt?
Yeah. Don't touch it.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't touch the trigger unless you plan on shooting something.
I think my dad explained it to me as like, don't put your finger on it unless you want what's on the other end to die.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and never pointed at another thing because unless you wanted to die.
Exactly.
It's like,
And that's part of being a well-regulated militia. Now we can argue that we don't need militia in this country anymore. That's fine. That's an old word, whatever. Fine. Make that argument. A well-regulated populace being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's basically what that means. They just completely destroyed any Second Amendment argument at all. Like these people are legitimate enemies of the United States. And one thing I want to touch on, because we brought up um, basically coded language, the Alexander Mayorkas thing with the pull factor, and the reason why we need to annex Mexico. So Ted Cruz was talking to Alexander Mayorkas, and they were talking about how we should probably look up the article and figure out.
there's a lot of Mexicans coming here for no fucking reason.
Yeah, well, for 450,000 reasons.
Oh yeah, dollars.
So I think it was Axios, I want to say, did the article, if I remember right. And it was reparations for child separation. I guess try and look that up, and I'll kind of explain what I'm talking about. So Ted Cruz was talking to Alexandro Mayorkas, whatever, the Cuban fuck who told other Cubans not to come to this country,
not to come to America
because he's a fucking ass clown. So Ted Cruz was talking to that guy who is our what the hell is he again? Is he
Secretary of State?
God. No, he's Secretary of State is Blinken.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is Mayorkas?
He's the fucking foreign guy, the fucking thing.
Oh my god.
Diddly bop dude. Is it Biden waives payout, families separate at the border? Trump doubles down. Is this a Trump thing or is this a Biden thing?
This is a Biden thing. Oh man, I can't spell at all. Anyways, Alejandro Mayorkas, whatever the fuck he happens to be. Him and Ted Cruz were doing a fucking bread and circus show, and Ted Cruz asked him, "Don't you think giving people $450,000 per?" And this is where I'm a little bit confused, because Mayorkas said that's not what it means, and then Ted Cruz said, according to Axios, that's what it means. So the issue there is we don't know if a parent comes across Mexico U.S. border with children, and let's say they have 4 children, and they get separated, the United States government wants to pay them $450,000. And I'm not sure if it's $450,000 per child separated, or if it's just $450,000 per family. Ted Cruz thinks it's $450,000 per child. America said it's $450,000 per parent or per family. Anyways, so with that coded language thing, Ted Cruz asked, don't you think that is incentive for people to come from Mexico? And Alejandro Mayorkas said a very interesting thing, which I don't think Ted Cruz caught or didn't really understand its relevance. Mayorkas said, we don't see that as a pull factor. What does he mean by pull factor? A pull factor, from context clues, is something that essentially what Ted Cruz said is incentivizes someone to come from the Mexican border to over to the United States side. But the fact that they have it defined as a pull factor means they're classifying things as pull factors. So they have to know what is and isn't a pull factor And how is giving out free money not a pull factor? One thing I just don't understand is, let's see. Perfect. Yes.
It's not the Axios one, but this is the one I found.
Okay. Biden administration could pay illegal immigrant families separated at border $450,000 per person in settlements.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the Biden administration is currently issuing payments to immigrant families that were separated at the southern border under the Trump administration, around $450,000 a person in compensation, for a total payout that could cost the government more than $1 billion.
Now, this is also an article, before you read on, from October.
What the fuck?
This has happened. This is happening. So the fact that this is coming out now, this is a done deal, bro. And that's where I'm talking the fucking language that they use.
Yep.
Why do you think it's not a pull factor?
Yeah. What?
Because you fucking silenced everybody's ass with money.
For a total payout that would cost the government more than $1 billion. So
And
we
how
just
much
gave
money has he been at? Yeah.
we just gave $1 billion to illegal immigrants. When we have, okay, I'm not one to usually make this argument because I don't give a fuck about homeless people.
But still.
But we have fucking homeless people abound in this country. And we gave $1 billion to people that were in this country illegally. How is this not a fucking pull factor? You lying? What's a fucking racial slur for a fucking Cuban?
Spick.
No, that's Mexican.
Pig.
I'm Googling it right now.
La Josa. I don't know.
Racial.
Whatever Tony Montana didn't like being called, like a chicken, a coward, a yella, a fucking communist. I don't know.
Cuban, the racial slur database. Boat rower.
A boat rower?
A boat rower. Yeah, there's apparently a racial slur database. I'm gonna have to start using this.
I think you're gonna have to put this on the end of every show.
Yeah, just keep on. Today's racial slur database where it is.
Brought to you by databaseracioslur.com.
So Alejandro Mayorkas, you fucking boat rowing son of a bitch. How is this not a fucking pull factor? You've got to be fucking shitting my dick, dude.
Well,
what the fuck? $1 billion handed out to illegal people that are not. You know what we would get if you and I crossed the border into fucking Mexico? We would get our fucking hands cut off.
Yeah. We'd get our heads chopped off by the cartel because there's no way I'm smuggling coke in my fucking ass.
What the fuck?
Only poop comes out of there. Nothing goes up there.
Let's talk about what happened in Texas.
All right. You can tell me all about Texas because you'll be refreshing something. I remember this, but
and I gotta do a little refresher as well.
If there's anybody that gets this episode out to California, I just want you to know, Californians and all you hippy dippy fuckers with all your fucking avocado obsessions, that the fucking drug cartels in Mexico have a monopoly on avocado sales all over the planet.
Yes,
and did you know that America is, I'm going to safely guess that we are the number one importer of avocados in the world.
Oh, we have to be, because all those fucking faggots in fucking California need their goddamn avocado toast.
Yeah, avocado toast. So, just so you know, Californians, if you want to be part of Mexico, all you have to do is ask. Yeah, it's amazing. What's a Mexican one? I'm going to this website now.
I had no idea that was a thing, a racial slur database. That's incredible.
Yeah. Jason asked why we should start giving shout outs. And I said, oh, well, we're not going to use the company name. And he said, definitely don't use the company name.
Definitely not.
But he's like, you
Definitely
can
not.
use Morse code, but I don't know how to do Morse code. Maybe I just go like this. Did that
Yeah,
do
that would
anything?
work.
Oh, okay, cool. But I already said his name, so just no last names.
Yeah, just no last names.
What
But
up,
I'll tell you
Jason?
mine. My last name is Jake fucking Hartstern. Feel free to come for me.
Yeah, sounds like
So
a
and
wrestler.
Jake the Snake. That's my uncle calls me Snake all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't even get to the Hunter Biden. We'll have to do a deep. You know what we're gonna do for next episode? Deep dive on Hunter Biden laptop and the Biden crime family.
How about we do? Wait, do we have an episode called the Biden crime family? I think there's a lot of podcasts that do an episode called the Biden crime family.
So we should call it something cooler.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna come up. You know, I'm good at naming shit.
Yes, you are.
I'm gonna come up with something. It's gonna be magnificent. Maybe we'll do the whole episode on just the two, and we'll have some stuff to throw in.
Yeah,
we'll have a little bit.
It could be a two-parter like Fauci was, though.
See, I was thinking a two-parter as well.
Because
maybe
we could
the
do just the laptop and all the cover-ups of the laptop.
Yeah,
and then we could go into the Biden crime family.
Hunter Biden has a long history of being a fuck-up.
Yes, like throwing a gun inside of a dumpster outside of a school because he wasn't legally allowed to have a gun because he's a fucking crackhead. And then Biden used the FBI to go track down the gun to make sure it got disappeared so that way he wouldn't be prosecuted for his fucking crimes because he's the goddamn son of the goddamn demented fucking president fucking ass clown who wears diapers and eats fucking ice cream all the goddamn time.
Right.
Fuck that guy.
And I don't mean to throw stones. I've done a lot of dumb shit in my life, but dude, my dad would have let me fucking rot in a goddamn jail cell if I had done half the shit this motherfucker did. And if I did half the stuff this dude did, I'd be in a jail cell.
Yes.
So,
So let's I guess talk about this Mexican cartel. While everyone was so concerned with Ukraine and that border situation, we clearly neglected our own border because Mexican cartel gunmen attack U.S. consulate building near Texas. We'll do a little bit of an article read here. And apparently this article has an update as well. So, teams of gunmen attacked a U.S. consular building, a Mexican military base, and other buildings in a border city near Texas, following the rumored arrest of a leader with the Cartel del Norte, whatever the fuck. Basically, this cartel boss got fucking arrested, or there was a rumor about it.
Yeah.
The violence began late Sunday night in Nuevo León. I think I said that right. When gunmen take to the streets and fired shots at the local U.S. consulate building. The gunmen also attacked a Mexican military building and set up blockades along busy avenues. For those blockades, the gunmen parked and torched stolen tractor trailers and buses. While Mexico's federal government has not revealed any official information about the violence, law enforcement sources told Breitbart Texas that actions were a response to a military operation targeting the cartel's leadership, known as El Huevo, or the Egg. All right. Juan Gerardo Torvina is the current boss of the CDN, the Los Zetas in Nueva León, and is the nephew of the jailed kingpin Z40. That's his name, apparently.
Wow.
response to the attack and shootout throughout the city, the U.S. consulate in Nuevo sent out social media alerts telling nearby people to shelter in place. In similar fashion, the mayor released messages warning the public to be careful of the blockades. And residents recorded sounds of gunfight or firefights throughout the city as cartel gunmen carried out attacks against military forces. The CDN holds Nuevo under an iron grip with extreme influence over local politicians and news outlets. They are responsible for hundreds of kidnappings along the highway connecting Nuevo and Monterrey. Additionally, the criminal organization uses mass graves and incineration sites to dispose of victims. The cartel also wages fierce turf war in other places that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Once we annex Mexico, we got to turn it into more fucking American names.
We'll turn it into a fucking Las Vegas of the South, man.
Yes. To take control of new smuggling and distribution territories. Apparently, there was an update as well. Mexico's federal government confirmed on Monday the arrest of El Huevo during a raid by military and federal authorities. Tarvino, who's the cartel boss guy, had 2 firearms. The statement from Mexico's government revealed the leader had 3 outstanding warrants, 1 for extortion and organized criminal activity, 1 for murder and terrorism, and a federal one requesting his extradition to the U.S. for drug trafficking. So yeah, while everyone was all worried about Ukraine, a U.S. consulate building was attacked, and I didn't hear a fucking thing about it until like 2 days ago.
They had another fight in Mexico happened on Monday, the 14th.
Jesus.
They just, man. What's gonna suck for the Mexican people if they think they got it bad now? Wait until the American military rolls in.
See, I don't, because there's all these things.
But we
you
never
can't-
will. We never
No,
will.
we never will.
We never will.
That's because
We should. We
haven't-
should.
we haven't had a politician try to install a president there yet.
This is true.
I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't think we will ever see a Mexico free of cartels.
Well, it is kind of, Mexico is America's drug market, man. I mean,
Yeah. You know, if we legalize drugs in this country too, I
they
think
would
that
fall
would
apart.
massively hurt cartels.
Totally. I mean, not really. I mean, avocados are selling really good in California. There's a lot of faggots out there eating that
That's
shit.
true. Those
So-
fucking Californians. One thing that's stupid about California too is, you know, I very much am a fan of states telling the federal government to go fuck itself, except for California. Because they've told the federal government to go fuck itself. And this is where I, too, even though I try to be as principled as possible and I believe in states' rights, I'll try to use a big word here. I take umbrage with the fact that California counts illegal immigrants in their census, which gives them their electoral votes. If you were to take out all the illegal immigrants in their census and not give them representation because they're here illegally, California, instead of having 56 or whatever the fuck it is, they'd probably have like 48, 46 electoral college votes instead of the 170 that they have now.
Yeah.
But California, being the great state that it is, just told the federal government to go fuck itself. Which I guess I can appreciate on principle, but I recognize that it kind of fucks over other people. And that's what people mostly mean when they say, well, illegals get to vote. Yeah, they get to vote in the presidency because California is a fucking shithole because they get electoral college votes based on illegal immigrants as well, instead of legal United States citizens.
Right.
And we didn't even touch on Hunter Biden's
the people
laptop.
that the people that actually pay the taxes.
Yep. So yeah, this was a very interesting episode. We went all over the place.
Well, we did say we were just going to shoot the shit, and this is kind of how we talk at work because we're pressed for time when we talk at work, so because we're both working in separate rooms. So it's like you're doing your thing and we're like, hey, did you hear about this shit? Oh my God, blah, blah, we're going to talk about it, so, and we haven't recorded in a while, man. So back again is the title. So
back again, because I was going to do And We're Back, but apparently we already have an episode called And We're Back.
Oh yeah, I think we went on a hiatus.
Yep.
When I forgot, but it happened.
I was just about to throw something. I was basically about to throw a grenade into your lap. I'm watching the Underground. I have Underground 6 on my TV.
Nice.
And they're just going and massacring a bunch of people right now
Mm-hmm.
with a bunch of gunfire. And I was about to just be like, we should start killing politicians.
Oh no.
I almost just blurted that out randomly.
Well, do you remember what I said to you?
Yes, you
remember
did.
what I said to you?
Yep.
That is the reaction that a lot of people will have, but all that will do is scare people a little bit.
Yeah.
And those politicians,
they won't learn a lesson because
they won't learn their lesson, and all the other ones will just pass laws that, right? So you got to take one and you got to make an example of them, right?
Yep.
You've got to take everything away from these fucking people. Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they can have their families if their families so choose to stay with them. However, I mean, take everything. Their fucking
their fingernails, their toenails.
Because, right, you take them and you put them in a vulnerable place. Think about the shit that happens when people go and they become prisoners of war. You think that's all fucking bubbly and shit?
And prisoners of war, they expect torture.
Right.
They expect to be beaten. They expect to be, not treated very properly. These, I want to make we need to start t-shirts. We really do. I want to make a t-shirt that says "Make politicians birds again." Because I truly believe if we went to DC, this is where I take issue. I don't like violence, but I'm a very my saying that I've created, I added on, let me rephrase that. I added on to a saying. And the saying always goes, the pen is mightier than the sword. Which is true. I do agree the pen is mightier than the sword. But my saying goes, while the pen is mightier than the sword is more absolute. So, we just walked into DC, tarred and feathered a politician, and put them in that, the thing where you get to throw tomatoes at their face.
Oh, yeah.
In olden times, where they're putting like the stockade. Yep. If we just put a politician in the fucking stockade, tarred and feathered them, and let people throw tomatoes at them, or bricks, whatever happens to be there.
Rotten tomatoes, not bricks. Fuck.
Or
they need to be humiliated. And it doesn't even have to be physical. Just take all of their money and burn it in front of them. Like when John Wick did that in the first movie, he just burned all the dude's shit. You remember? Yeah. He's just like, fuck you. I'm just going to burn all your money.
Like, or like the Joker when he burned all that money.
Yeah.
Like I just, the fact that Nancy Pelosi, being a corrupt, disgusting politician for the past 50 fucking years, is going to be able to go home and live her life peacefully until she dies, doesn't sit right with me. It disgusts me to my core. And same thing for Mitt Romney, same thing for Lindsey Graham, same thing for fucking Mitch McConnell. All these people have done nothing. The fact that we gave $1 billion to people who are not legally here and not subject to the same fucking fabricated ass bullshit laws we have to deal with should tell you these people no longer and haven't represented you for the past 30 to 40 fucking years. Where's my $450,000?
Yeah.
Where's your $450,000? Where's the homeless vets' $450,000? Where's the homeless fucking parents who are trying to find jobs because coronavirus shut down their fucking business and now they can't feed their family? Where's their $450,000? What did we get? You know what we got, Matt? We got, I think, a $600 stimulus check.
Yep.
And we were promised $2,000 stimulus checks. So you know what they did? They gave us an additional $1,400 instead of $2,000
Yep.
because we can't give them an extra $600, even though we've taken everything from them.
Yep.
The fact that Nancy Pelosi will get to go whenever she decides to no longer run for office, the fact that she will be able to go sit on a beach, let me rephrase that. The fact that she will go and sit at her beach house in Florida that she just recently purchased because it's a free state. She didn't want to go live in California. She didn't want to go live in New York. She wanted to go to Florida, where she just bought a multi-million-dollar beach home.
That's where all the Jews retire.
Exactly. And the old people. The Jewish old people that are drunks.
Fine, I won't go racial. But it's not racist, right? Because Whoopi Goldberg says as long as they're white people, it's not racist.
Exactly. The fact that she'll get to go and live out her life like she wasn't a corrupt, disgusting, evil, vile, wretched cunt doesn't sit right with me.
It's funny because we started this whole discussion on climate change.
And now we're talking about fucking tar and feathering Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. So I feel like we're back in the swing of things.
Yeah. Yes.
Because we have gone way out of it. However, I will say, because I'm going to bring it all the way back to the beginning for a second.
Okay.
Let's just say that climate change and all this carbon shit is real and it's a fact and we're killing things and we need to go as green as possible. So why hasn't the government taken those billions of dollars that we so graciously hand to them every fucking week out of our paychecks and produce something for the people? Like, I don't know, make solar energy cheap for us to install at our houses. Like, you already fucking made it so I have to have some sort of smart meter bullshit on the side of my house. You might as well pay for some other shit around here too. And the fact that, and I know this is localized government, but it's the fact that I have to cut the fucking grass on the fucking road on the other side of the sidewalk that I don't even own and I can't modify and I can't do shit to, and I got to keep the sidewalk clean because God forbid someone walks down it and slips.
Not to mention, one of our stated goals, I think we said jokingly, was we should try and get it so that way, you know, the snowplows, how whenever they go through your streets, they leave a giant pile of fucking snow in your driveway that you have to shovel.
Yeah.
There's a thing that they can attach to the end of those. They press a button, it slides down, and it stops all that snow from going into people's driveways.
Yep.
Why don't we have that in Wisconsin?
I know. It's like the snow capital of the United States. I mean, Alaska doesn't count.
And Michigan's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, Michigan. Yeah, all of these northern states, man.
Like it's in like my mom is 800 years old. She's 60. She's not actually 800.
Yeah.
She will like if I'm not home, she'll go and try and shovel that shit. And sometimes it's all fucking heavy as shit snow.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're going to kill yourself. I'm going to come home. I'm going to accidentally run you over because I didn't see you over that giant snow pile the snowplow just left.
Yeah.
And you had fallen and broken your back. Now you're laying there waiting for me to come home to lift you up. But instead, I run you over with my car because there's a giant snow pile and I can't see you. And that's how I killed my mother.
And not to mention all the freaking salty brine, that super concentrated salt brine shit that they put on the road, so that it's just like 5 lines in the road, but then when the liquid hits it, it spreads everywhere like a son of a bitch for the whole year.
You know,
and all
you know what
that's
they
going
should
into
do?
the fucking water.
Not to mention it destroys your car as well.
Yeah, and not to mention you're drinking that.
Yep.
And fluoride and sulfur and all kinds of other bullshit. So,
what is this place? Why are we?
I'm telling you, man. I'm just saying, man. It's just a messed up world, and we're living in it, man.
What the fuck, America?
For real. What the fuck?
Dear Lord. All right. Well, I guess that's all I got for today.
Today's episode was brought to you by Matt's Abortion Clinic. You make them, we scrape them. Located at 1530 West Hartford Avenue, West Hartford, Connecticut. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
We got to start doing those at the end of the show. That was good. That was good. You make them, we scrape them.
When I first got a cell phone, I was so annoyed that like my friends would constantly be hitting me up, and I started answering it. Matt's Abortion Clinic. You make them, we scrape them. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of messed up, but don't fucking call me ever.
And that's not his real address, by the way.
No.
So
I wouldn't do abortions out of my house.
Yeah, come on now. That's just ridiculous.
I just made that address up. I don't even think there is a West Hartford Street in West Hartford. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.
Yeah, fuck you.